Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
Afterwards, the group entered a private room of a nearby restaurant. General Li spent his life in the military and had a straightforward personality. As soon as he sat down, he said straight to the point, "Little friend Lin, you must know the reason why I am here. Now, Blue Star is gradually entering the extraordinary era, and whoever can master the extraordinary power can control the future of Blue Star. In the past year, we have suffered huge losses in order to occupy the floating island number 013724. More than 1 million of Xia's elites died. The most important thing is that we have not been able to capture 013724 floating island until now. The root cause is lack of strength. Floating island number 013724 is one of the first 7 floating islands to arrive on Blue Star. Su Yi is a professional on this floating island. If this were not the case, we would not be so shameless." General Li smiled bitterly as he recounted their encounters on the floating island. Any floating island has a vast territory and massive extraordinary resources. If 013724 floating island is successfully occupied, Xiagua will not send representatives to negotiate with Lin Yu. It's not because they don't like the resources of the floating island ruled by Lin Yu, but just 013724 floating island is enough for Xia Kingdom to digest for many years. But the fundamental problem is that they cannot handle the wild monsters and local forces on 013724 floating island. So I can only find Lin Yu here. I hope to establish a cooperative relationship with Lin Yu and jointly develop the 014965 floating island under Lin Yu's control, thereby enhancing the overall extraordinary power of Xia Kingdom. If we can build on this basis, it would be even more perfect if Xiagua occupied 013724 floating island." Lin Yu was silent. General Li said again, "Little friend Lin, we are now a dialogue between extraordinary professionals, not a country and individuals. I will not use the national justice and national mission to kidnap you, because I also know that you must have paid a huge price to occupy 014965 floating island. Whether you are willing to cooperate or not depends on your own intention. Even if you refuse, we can understand. Of course, it would be best if we can cooperate. We will definitely do our best to meet all your conditions." Such a commitment can be said to be full of sincerity. After thinking for a moment, Lin Yu said with a smile, "There is no problem with cooperation, but I have a few words to say." Hearing this, General Li was immediately happy. The official professionals standing behind him were also excited. General Li quickly said, "Little friend Lin, if you have any conditions, just ask." "Then I'll be blunt." Lin Yu said, "I can open the 014965 floating island and let you go into plant spiritual objects, collect magic potions, and carry out various extraordinary plans. But you have to hand over 50% of everything you gain." "Can." General Li agreed directly. "For cooperative development, the profits will be split half and half, which is very reasonable." He is even ready to split the accounts with Heaven Kingdom. After all, those Xia Kingdom professionals in Paradise Kingdom pay 70% of taxes on a daily basis. In his opinion, Lin Yu's move was already a special consideration for Xiagua. At the same time, it also shows that Lin Yu is a positive energy ruler who can be continuously contacted. "Here," Lin Yu said again, "I will send a large army to occupy the 013724 floating island in the near future. Your army had better withdraw first to avoid unnecessary casualties." As soon as these words came out, General Li fell silent. Because 013724 floating island is their ultimate target. It is also the base camp where Xia Kingdom plans to fully enter the extraordinary era. They are just one step away from this goal, occupying this floating island. Although this step will be long, they believe that as long as they don't give up and keep working hard for this goal, they will succeed one day. As a result, Lin Yu actually wants to take this island away. Doesn't this mean that their ultimate goal plan will not be achieved? All the previous efforts and sacrifices will be in vain? This, General Li. Lin Yu interrupted the hesitant General Li and said, "To be honest, whether you agree or not, I will send an army out. And not only the 013724 floating island. I will also occupy the floating islands related to Blue Star. This is the first phase of my war plan. Lin Yu's final war plan is naturally to occupy and integrate all the floating islands in the universe. Let the floating island of all realms return to its appearance before its disintegration. At this time, a holy man standing behind General Li said with some dissatisfaction, "Can you eat so many floating islands by yourself?" Hear this. Lin Yu glanced at this person immediately. Seeing that the atmosphere was not right, General Li quickly said, "Little friend Lin, don't be angry." Lin Yu said to the man, "I don't want to see you." As soon as he finished speaking, this holy-level powerhouse disappeared out of thin air, and faint screams could be heard. Several other people standing nearby were so frightened that their faces turned green. Lin Yu was very calm and said, "General Li, don't bring people like this here again." General Li's mouth suddenly twitched. I feel my scalp is numb again. However, he could sense that the man was not dead, just severely injured. This is the best result. At the same time, he has now witnessed with his own eyes how powerful the demigod is, or how powerful Lin Yu is. A strong man of the holy level who controls the field disappears, just like he said he can't see him. No ability to resist at all. It's absolutely terrifying. Can't. I will withdraw the legions on the island as soon as possible. General Li did not hesitate anymore and agreed to Lin Yu's request and said, "When capturing 013724 floating island, if you need us, feel free to ask." "That's not necessary." Lin Yu waved his hand. "You are too weak." "All right." General Li smiled bitterly. Lin Yu's words did not give them any face, but they were true. They spent a whole year, but failed to capture 013724 floating island. Lin Yu, however, took less than a month to conquer 014965 floating island, and also captured 018439 floating island where foreign professionals, such as Sakura country and Bangzi country were located. It can be seen from this. How big is the power gap between them and Lin Yu? What they couldn't accomplish despite all their efforts, Lin Yu's angel army only needed 2 or 3 days to accomplish. And one last thing. After hearing this, General Li immediately became solemn and said, "Say it." Lin Yu said, "Blue Star is my home planet, and I don't want to see this world fall into war. The general should know that conquering Blue Star is not difficult for me. I just don't want to destroy the existing order of this world with my own hands. With the war power of the angel army, it is indeed easy to conquer Blue Star. But after being conquered, Blue Star has lost its due vitality. For Lin Yu, the greatest value of Blue Star is not to conquer it, but that when he comes back from battlefield of all realms to relax, he can still see Blue Star as lively as ever. As for Xia Kingdom, the same is true. I am a Xia native, with Huxiao blood flowing in my body. This is something to be proud of. I will not bring the war to Xia Kingdom. So, you can rest assured that my presence will not affect you. Lin Xiaoyu is righteous." General Li was overjoyed and praised him heartily. To be honest, no matter which country in the world there is a special talent, like Lin Yu, the top leaders of that country will be instinctively afraid. Xiagua's senior officials are no exception. But with Lin Yu's promise, they can relax. Considering Lin Yu's current status and his identity as the Lord of Holy Light, he would never go back on his word. "My request is very simple." Lin Yu said, "The Xia Kingdom of Blue Star belongs to you, and the professionals of Xia Kingdom of Floating Island belong to me." Can Xiaoyu Lin explain it more clearly? General Li frowned, a little confused. Lin Yu said, "After I open 014965 Floating Island, as long as the Xia people come to the island, they must obey my orders regardless of whether they join my paradise country or not. My floating island, I have the final say." "Any orders?" "Yes, any order." Lin Yu nodded and said, "Including but not limited to war recruitment and fulfilling all kingdom obligations. When they leave the floating island and return to Blue Star, the constraints imposed on them by my heavenly kingdom will also come to an end. They will still be Xia people. To put it bluntly, even if they die on Blue Star, I won't care. But when they get to the island, they are my people. Those who disobey orders will be punished according to the laws of my heavenly kingdom. This issue is very important. I need to go back and report it. General Li said with a solemn expression. He understood what Lin Yu meant. They are Xia people in Blue Star. But after arriving on the island, they are people from the Paradise Country. Lin Yu will not interfere with Xiagua, and Xiagua will never interfere with matters on the floating island, whether it is now or in the future. Can? Lin Yu nodded calmly. Although he does not think that Xia State has the ability to interfere with the floating island, even if it takes another 100 years to develop, it will be difficult, but some issues are better explained clearly. If something really happens in the future, it will also be easier for him to handle. General Li asked, does Xiao Lin have any other requests? That's it. Lin Yu picked up the teacup and took a sip. Seeing this, General Li also breathed a sigh of relief. Lin Yu's 3 conditions are each more difficult to meet than the last. If there were a few more conditions, he would probably not report it, but would directly negotiate with someone else. Fortunately, Lin Yu did not continue to make things difficult for him. What General Li didn't know was, Lin Yu also wanted to promote cooperation with Xiagua from the bottom of his heart. It wasn't because he wanted to get much benefit from Xiagua, nor was it because he wanted to satisfy those 3 conditions. If he didn't want to cooperate, he simply refused. No one can threaten him. The reason why he agreed to cooperate in the development of the floating island was because he also hoped that Xiagua's extraordinary power could be improved and even reach the level where everyone became a professional. It would be better if a large number of demigods could appear. By that time, even if one day he is trapped in the battlefield of all realms, or even dies directly in a certain war, no country in Blue Star can bully Xiagua. He hopes to see the Xia kingdom become truly powerful, able to ignore everything. No need to worry about anything else. Of course, it would be even better if the Xia kingdom could conquer other countries and become the ruler of Blue Star and the lord of the planet. He didn't want to conquer Blue Star because it was too simple and meaningless. However, he hoped that Xiagua could do it. General Li temporarily left the box. Apparently, he went out to make a report. At this moment, apart from Lin Yu and the other 3, there were only a saint-level expert who came with General Li and 5 extraordinary professionals in the box. In Blue Star, based on their strength, they can run rampant. To exaggerate a bit, it means that he can fly in the sky and escape from the earth, and is omnipotent. But in this box, they were brave and dared to breathe, because they were facing 2 powerful demigods who controlled the power of the law. Just now, Lin Yu made one of their holy companions disappear in an instant with just 1 word. He disappeared without saying a word. The feeling was the same as the legendary decrees and golden words. As scary as you want. They all lowered their heads, not daring to look directly at Lin Yu and Angelia. This is not cowardice. This is the reverence due to the strong. Especially in the extraordinary world, this kind of awe is a must. Su Yi on the side also remained silent. In terms of identity, she is just a tutor at the Demonic Martial Arts Academy in Xingwu City. In terms of strength, she is only at the late stage of the king level and has not even reached the extraordinary level. She was able to appear on such an occasion because she was by Lin Yu's side. Even though she couldn't get a word in, she was already very satisfied. It was already a great honor for her to be able to see the conversations between big people and witness the changes in Xia country's future destiny. No one dared to believe it. At the same time, on the other side of the world, a country 26,000 miles away, a figure tore through the space and appeared. She was wearing a dark red battle armor, and the 12 fallen angel wings on her back were emitting a strong blood light. She looked extremely evil. She is Victoria sent here by Lin Yu. At this moment, she was already above the beautiful country. The momentum released from the whole body directly shattered the clouds within a radius of 10,000 meters. She had no intention of hiding herself. Compared to the elegant and distinguished secretarian, Victoria is arrogant and arrogant. She fears no one but the Supreme Creator. Even when facing Angelia, Victoria is only afraid at certain times and is fearless on a daily basis. After arriving at her destination, Victoria immediately released her spiritual consciousness. Soon it enveloped the entire beautiful country. The scenes of the mundane world filled with materialistic desires were all presented in her field of vision. However, Victoria was not affected and quickly locked the location of the headquarters of Church of Creation. With the memory fragments from Puccio and her own detection, it would be easy to lock it down. Found it. There is indeed a demon hiding there. Belongs to the Soul Demon clan among the Void Demon clan. No wonder they have survived from the era of the Holy Demon War to the present. What the Soul Demon clan is best at is escaping and seizing other people's bodies. The Soul Demon clan is invisible and invisible. Once it gets into the body of other living beings, it is not only difficult to be discovered, but it can also quickly swallow the soul of the host, thereby achieving the purpose of seizing the body. During the Holy Demon War, there are many alien gods who were eventually devoured and had their bodies taken away from them because they did not understand the abilities of the soul demons. And the existence of them also caused huge casualties to the army of alien gods. However, the Angel clan is not afraid of the Soul Demon clan at all, because the souls of angels are hidden in the angel heart, in their bodies. No matter how weird the abilities of the soul demons are, they cannot invade the angel heart. On the contrary, the Angel clan is very restrained by the Soul Demon clan. The reason is very simple. What angels are best at is soul purification. The invisible Soul Demon clan relies entirely on the power of the demon soul for support. Once they encounter the angel's purification magic, they will die more simply than a chicken with its head chopped off. Just when Victoria was about to tear apart space again, very suddenly, small black dots appeared in the distant sky, flying towards her. The speed is extremely fast, reaching nearly Mach 5. To put it simply, that's about 1,700 meters per second. For ordinary people, this speed is terrifying. But in Victoria's eyes, the speed of those little black dots was as slow as a turtle. She deliberately stood there and waited for a moment, until those little black dots get closer. Those black spots are clearly a formation of strange-looking fighter jets. They are the most advanced fighter jets of the beautiful country and can run rampant in the skies of Blue Star. God, what is that? She actually stood in the sky out of thin air. Is she an extraordinary professional? Oh no, she's an angel. Looking at her appearance, she must be a fallen angel from the kingdom of heaven. Damn it. No one told us that the one we were about to intercept was actually a terrifyingly powerful fallen angel. And it's also at the 12-wing level. I feel the breath of death. It's like evil Lucifer is waving to me. Retreat. Retreat quickly. In the blink of an eye, this fighter formation changed direction very smoothly. Where you come from, where you go back. If it were anyone else, it might be fine. After all, no fighting broke out between the two sides. But who is Victoria? An 18-winged fallen archangel who is keen on war and killing. With a wave of Victoria's right hand, the space area where the fighter group was located collapsed layer by layer, and the 10 most advanced and beautiful Huxiao fighter jets were all torn into pieces. Gorgeous fireworks exploded high in the sky, interweaving an extremely beautiful picture. Victoria admired it for a moment. Then the space was torn apart and disappeared. At the same time, at the headquarters of Beautiful Country, a huge combat command center, there are many professional and beautiful Huxiao people gathered in the hall. At this moment, they looked at the images captured by military satellites and the blood-red prompts on the life monitoring instruments. Everyone was silent and speechless. I told you not to mess with that angel. How can we deal with the powerful creatures in myths and legends? You actually want to test how strong that angel's combat effectiveness is. Well, now, all the Sky Condor team has died, with a total loss of billions, but nothing has been tested in the end. It's not like I got nothing. A beautiful Huxiao man in military uniform said, "At least we can be sure now that even if we call the aircraft carrier formation over, we will not be a match for this 12-winged fallen angel. After all, she can even tear apart space." Hear this. All the beautiful Huxiao people present were speechless. Some people are even rolling their eyes. Compared to the destruction of the Sky Condor team, they would rather not have such a gain. I'm curious about one thing. Can our big mushroom kill this 12-winged fallen angel? I remind you, never be curious about this kind of question. A senior official of the Beautiful Country said, "This will bring disaster to our land of the free." But now, She has invaded our country, trespassing without permission. This is a declaration of war on our beautiful country." Hearing this, the senior management of the beautiful country sighed and said, "Invade, just invade. At least the war has not really started. We will wait until the war starts." He is of the peaceful faction. We do not advocate being an enemy of the kingdom of heaven. Even if the kingdom of heaven made some very excessive demands, he said he could meet them, as long as there is no war. Because he believes that with the current power of the beautiful country, it is impossible to be the opponent of the paradise kingdom. Once a war breaks out, it will be the end of the entire beautiful country. Tell me, why did this 12-winged fallen angel suddenly appear in our beautiful country? Half an hour ago, she was still in Xia Kingdom. Appearing here in the blink of an eye, there must be some unknown purpose. You're talking nonsense. Could she still be here for a trip? Enough. From now on, pay close attention to the movements of this fallen angel. As long as there is news about her, you must report it as soon as possible. Besides, no one is allowed to approach her without my order. Don't even attack her without permission. I don't want to see her destroying our headquarters or even the entire city into ruins. Clear. A group of beautiful Huxia people responded one after another. They quickly controlled the various machines in front of them. But what makes them helpless is that they can't find Victoria at all. Even if they had used the power of Skynet, they could not lock Victoria. It's as if she has left the beautiful country. The headquarters of the Creation Church is located in Maiqing, in the eastern region of the beautiful country. Maiqing has a dense population and a prosperous economy. It also has ties with other surrounding cities, making it very suitable for Church of Creation to rapidly develop believers here. Of course, this information is not important. The important thing is, Victoria is here. She walked out of the torn void and directly broke into the headquarters of the Creation Church. As soon as she entered, she could clearly smell the breath of the soul demon, filled the entire headquarters area. However, the source of most of the breath is not concentrated on the soul demon, but comes from the creation believers at the headquarters. This explains something. There are many people here controlled by that soul demon. Cannibalizing the soul and controlling the soul are the soul demon's best skills. Victoria was not surprised by this situation. On the contrary, she would be surprised if no one here was controlled by that soul demon. Because demons are inherently selfish and evil races, they will not trust foreigners, let alone entrust their safety to foreigners. Therefore, manipulation is bound to happen. After Victoria captures the soul demon, the manipulated creationists can regain their freedom. But what happens afterwards can only be determined by the degree to which they were manipulated. Severe patients will die immediately. Moderate patients become dementia. Mild patients will be comatose for a long time, until the eroded soul and mental strength are restored. Such people can return to normal. Didn't think much about it. Victoria went directly into the soul demon's lair. It was a building hundreds of meters deep underground, and there were also many creationists inside. The soul demon aura emanating from their bodies was even stronger. Victoria could tell at a glance that these people had been completely controlled by the soul demon and turned into demon slaves. Going further, I saw many undressed women, all of them extremely beautiful and with good figures, but they were also turned into demon slaves by the soul demon. Their daily task is to serve the soul demon, including but not limited to diet. Victoria glanced at the beautiful women with stupid eyes and then said coldly, "Filthy alien creatures." Victoria snorted softly. The beautiful, half-dressed women nearby fell to the ground one after another. They are already completely controlled demon slaves. Only beautiful bodies are left. Living is torture for them, and it is better to die. As these female slaves fell, Victoria's figure also appeared. Almost at the same time, a piercing alarm sounded in this underground base. Immediately afterwards, a large number of well-armed creationists surrounded Victoria from all directions, including many powerful professionals. However, these people are just freeloaders to Victoria. Spiritual awareness swept away. They fell in pieces. In the blink of an eye, there were no living creatures in this underground base. Just at this time, Victoria suddenly reached out and grabbed the void in front of her. Suddenly, the void collapsed. A black figure was forcibly grabbed out of the shattered void by Victoria. It looks like a black mist. Sometimes it turns into a human form. Sometimes it condenses into a dragon form. Sometimes it turns into a strange beast form. It is not an exaggeration to describe it as ever-changing. However, its body is tightly imprisoned by the power of Victoria's laws. No matter what form it changes into and how crazy it struggles, it cannot escape Victoria's control. Finally, it was desperate. It turned into a black fog ball. The fog ball has eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Its eyes fell on Victoria and said very humbly, "Dear angel, please don't purify me. I have already repented and rehabilitated myself." It recognized Victoria's racial identity immediately. But that's only half correct. Victoria is no longer a holy angel who masters the art of purification. She is the fallen archangel. If the soul demon falls into her hands, she will not enjoy the treatment of being purified. She will only eat the soul demon directly. The premise is that the Supreme Creator does not need this soul demon. The soul demon was extremely frightened at this moment. It had no idea that it had hid in a mortal world that could be said to be technologically civilized and could actually be caught by the angel family. In the distant era of the Holy Demon War, it was just a small demon soldier at the semi-god level. Fortunately, he survived the war, and he was very lucky to escape from the battlefield of all realms. Later, it successfully ignited the divine fire, condensed the divine personality, and became a demon god. Immortal, everlasting. After becoming a god, it has been hiding on the floating island. Because the floating island is a place abandoned by the gods, it rarely gets the attention of the gods. And if it is hidden in other extraordinary worlds, then it is likely to be discovered by the powerful true gods who rule those extraordinary worlds and then kill it. In order to survive, to hide on the floating island, it even proclaimed itself a god and only used power no higher than the demigod level. Have to say, its plan was successful. It survives to this day. After so many years, although it has been running around and surviving, its strength has also improved. Now it is already a mid-level god. Masters medium divine power. In the Void Demon Clan's army camp, with its current divine status, it can also become the commander of a large army. 6 months ago, it bewitched a professional. Successfully arrived at Blue Star. Blue Star is a low-level technological civilization. Extraordinary power has just emerged. No god will pay attention to this at all. It can stay in this world for a long time. Facts have proved that during this period of time in Blue Star, it did live a carefree life. Except for the lack of cultivation resources, all kinds of desires can be satisfied. Those humble humans regard it as the great creator god. Never refuse its request. Whatever it wants, it gets. This feeling was so good that it even temporarily forgot that it was a void demon. However, what it didn't expect was that an angel actually came to this world and appeared in front of it, wanting to kill it. At first, its first reaction was not to run away. Instead, he killed the angels who invaded its lair. But the problem is, after observing it for a moment, it suddenly felt like it was no match. Once a war breaks out, it will definitely die. Obviously, this black-winged angel, who exudes an evil aura, is definitely not a simple demigod. After all, she has 12 angel wings. So it chose to escape. But in the end, it still couldn't escape. He was directly forcibly grabbed out of the void by a terrifying force. Even if it unlocks the sealed divine position and uses its divine power, there is still no way to break through the black-winged angel's confinement. For a moment, it was desperate. But at the same time, it couldn't figure it out at all. It is obviously just a small mid-level demon. So how can it be chased by a 12-winged angel? It has experienced the Holy Demon War, so it is very clear that the 12-winged angels of the angel family are great beings at the main god level, and crushing it to death is as easy as crushing an ant. Sending a 12-winged angel to hunt it down is a complete waste of resources. Be good and don't struggle. Otherwise, I won't be able to help but eat you. Victoria stared at the soul demon imprisoned by her with strange eyes. The abyss magic power in the soul demon's body attracted her like a delicacy that was hard to find in the world. She wanted to eat this demon. At this time, The soul demon also sensed Victoria's appetite for it, and his face was suddenly distorted with fear. It has always been their demons that devour everything in the universe and regard all races of creatures as food. It seems that no one has ever dared to devour them. The reason is that the abyss magic power in their bodies will pollute the creatures in the universe and turn them into demons. But the black-winged angel in front of him didn't seem to be afraid at all. "You are not an angel," the soul demon suddenly shouted in horror. Angels who appeared in the era of holy demons are all holy and pure creatures. And your aura is extremely evil, even no less than our demons. "What species are you?" The soul demon's name is Alex. This is the real name it gave itself after becoming a god. The Void Demon tribe is a race with an extremely strict hierarchy. Demons below the level of true gods are not allowed to have their own names, because they are low-level demons and cannon fodder on the battlefield, even demons at the demigod level. These types of demons are collectively called demon soldiers and little demons. Only after being promoted to the realm of true gods can demons be qualified to give themselves a real name. At the same time, it also means that they have been promoted to the level of great devil. Alex is the big evil now. In fact, it's grateful to be in this universe. If not, it would be difficult for it to grow into a great demon. The universe of the Void Demon clan is a very cruel world, even for demons. Whether a little devil or a big devil, they have to experience countless wars and killings in their lives. The weak will definitely be eliminated. Among them, the little devil has the highest elimination rate. When the little devils hatch from the devil's lair and are promoted to the stage of big devils, only one of a million little devils can survive successfully. In other words, the probability of becoming a great devil is 1 in a million. The other little devils will all die in the war of killing each other. This shows how cruel the world of demons is. If Alex had followed the remnants of the defeated demon army back to the demon universe, he would most likely have died. Instead, it stayed in this universe and successfully survived. Not only that, he became a great evil, possessing the status of a middle god. Although the life of hiding around is very difficult, the ending is always good. Tens of millions of years have passed, and Alex's memory of the era of the Holy Demon War is no longer clear. When he first saw Victoria, he regarded Victoria as an angel. That's because of the 12 wings behind Victoria. Angels are a winged race. The more wings on the back, the higher the strength and status. The devil is the pupil tribe. The racial status of a demon can be identified by the color of its eyes. The color grades are black, red, lavender, purple, dark purple, and gold. The further back, the higher the racial status. The devil with purple eyes is a pure-blooded devil. However, when Alex is caught by Victoria, it suddenly reacts. The angels it saw on the battlefield back then were all sacred beings. They were never contaminated by the dust of the mortal world, and they regarded the evil forces as their mortal enemies. But the angel in front of it, not only did he not have a sacred aura on his body, but he also exuded extremely evil power. Its level of evil frightened even a purebred demon. If it weren't for the fact that Victoria didn't have the aura of abyss magic in her body, it would even suspect that Victoria was a mutant winged demon among their demon clan. "What kind of evil creature are you?" Soul Demon Alex screamed in extreme horror. Especially when it saw Victoria's eyes, it was so frightened that its scalp was numb. That was obviously the look in his eyes when he saw the delicious food. It looks exactly like the way it looks when it devours other living beings. This mutated angel seems to want to eat it with a high probability. As a demon, it turned into food at this time. Where does this make sense? You're in luck. While sealing the soul demon Alex in a space ball, Victoria said, "If my lord hadn't been curious about you, you wouldn't be alive now." Victoria is very interested in the abyss power within the soul demon. Intuition told her, this power will be of great use to her. It might even touch her unshakable character. Thinking of this, Victoria felt even more itchy. The lust in his eyes became even more intense. If I just take a small bite and don't let this demon die, it should be fine, right? My lord is kind, and he won't blame me if he thinks about it. Victoria couldn't help but stick out her tongue and lick the corner of her mouth. Seeing this scene, the soul demon Alex, who had been completely imprisoned in the space ball, became even more frightened. You can clearly see that the color of its eyes is purple. This shows that it is a pure-blooded demon. It is not a hybrid low-level monster. However, this is not good news, because the higher the devil's bloodline level and personality level, the greater and purer the abyss power in his body will be. Because of this, it became a delicacy in Victoria's eyes. When she was in the underground world of the floating island, the evil-eyed demons that Victoria encountered also had the blood of the void demons flowing in their bodies. At that time, Victoria was not interested in those evil-eyed demons at all. Just because the abyss power in their bodies is so weak that it is almost invisible. Relatively speaking, the soul demon with pure bloodline in front of me is not much better. What do you want to do? Soul demon Alex said in horror. Victoria said, "Don't be afraid. It's just a small bite." Hearing this, soul demon Alex was so frightened that he kept retreating. But it is imprisoned in the ball of space. Where can it retreat to? In the end, it could only watch helplessly as Victoria reached into its body and forcibly took away a ball of dark red light, which was half of the abyss power in its body. Alex, as a demon, was almost scared to tears at this time. This is too cruel. Amidst the screams of soul demon Alex, Victoria swallowed the power of the abyss in one gulp. At that moment, a very happy expression appeared on her beautiful cheeks. Sure enough, her intuition was right. The power of the abyss is a rare good thing for them fallen angels. Not only can it greatly enhance the power of fallen angels, but it also has the opportunity to help fallen angels improve their status. For other creatures, the power of the abyss is a taboo that cannot be touched. But among the fallen angels, the power of the abyss is a great tonic. It is equivalent to a rare treasure of heaven and earth. It is a pity that the void demons who died on the battlefield were basically purified and wiped out. Even if a few corpses are preserved, they may be difficult to find after tens of millions of years. Otherwise, she would have to find a way to collect them, whether they were living demons or dead demon corpses, to extract more power of the abyss. After all, soul demon Alex is just a middle-level god-level demon. Even if all the power of the abyss is extracted from its body, it will still not be enough to shake Victoria's archangel status. I really look forward to the war coming soon, Victoria said to herself. In this way, I can kill countless demons, even the void demon ancestor, and thus find hope of breaking through the realm. What? Is the war going to restart again? Inside the space ball, soul demon Alex collapsed to the ground very weakly. Half of the power of the abyss was forcibly extracted. It was already very good that it was not directly seriously injured and dying. After hearing what Victoria said, it struggled a few times as if it was stimulated. There was a hint of surprise in his eyes. It has been in this universe for tens of millions of years. This is a very long time. It misses the breath of the original universe. What? Are you looking forward to it? Victoria glanced at it sideways and said, "In this war, my angel clan will completely wipe out your void demon clan. Your Majesty the Demon King will never have a second chance to escape from my lord. Of course, you won't be able to see such a scene. Your future will either be eaten by me or purified by Angelia." Soul demon Alex did not speak. It was so frightened that it curled up inside the ball of space, its smoke-like body trembling. As a demon, it has now fallen into the hands of an angel, and its fate can be imagined. It even has the urge to self-destruct. However, it discovered that even self-destruction was a luxury. While Victoria extracted half of its abyssal power, she also sealed the godhead within it, and even the origin of the demon's soul. Whether it is destroying its godhood or using the secret techniques of the demon clan to annihilate its own demon soul, it is an impossible thing. If I'm destined to die, then can you please grant me one wish and tell me what kind of existence you are? While being suppressed and imprisoned, it sensed an extremely terrifying aura in Victoria's body, which made it feel even scarier than the Lord God who wielded great divine power. It had a moment of doubt that the black-winged angel in front of it was a supreme god. But there's no way to really know for sure. After all, supreme gods are very rare. Even among the powerful angel clan, it is said that there are only 7 supreme gods. It is difficult for it to believe that it will be personally hunted by a supreme god. This feeling, in the terms of mortals on this planet, it's like shooting mosquitoes with anti-aircraft guns. It gives it too much face. Wish. What do you need from a demon? Just wait and die, Victoria said coldly. Then he put away the space ball that imprisoned Soul Demon Alex. In this space ball, there is a trace of the power of the Supreme God King that she has injected into it. Its defensive power is so strong that even the Soul Demon Alex cannot break it even if he tries his best. The next step is to follow the will of our Lord and clean up the heretics in the Creation Church. This is quite simple. Get rid of all those heretics at once. Victoria didn't want to waste her precious time on those heretics. She couldn't wait to return to her creator, lest the creator get too excited with Angelia and forget about her. Then, just be a little more serious. Thankfully, the rules and will of this world are still in a state of chaos, and no real wisdom has emerged. Otherwise, it will definitely not be able to carry my power. While muttering to herself, a terrifying thought emerged from Victoria's body. Just the pressure of his thoughts instantly wiped out this extremely large underground base. This is the result of Victoria's best efforts to control it. If you let go, the entire blue star will collapse under the pressure of this thought. The billions of humans and countless creatures on the blue star will naturally turn into dust in the universe. Back then, Angelia used her supreme power to kill a god-level titan in the Titan God realm with the Sword of Destiny. Now, I just follow her example. She has no reason to scold me. Immediately, this terrifying idea spread instantly and directly enveloped the entire blue star. After only one breath, Victoria took back this thought, because her mission is accomplished at the same time. In the headquarters of Church of Creation, various areas of my city, and branches of Church of Creation around the world, countless figures fell instantly. Their souls were destroyed in an instant. He died simply and silently. Even the best medical examiners could not figure out the cause of their death. As Puccio said, Church of Creation has more than 2 billion believers from all over the world. However, Victoria is not crazy enough to kill all the more than 2 billion creationists. After all, Blue Star is the reborn home planet of the Creator. She couldn't let Blue Star enter its apocalypse. Otherwise, even if the benevolent Creator would not blame her, Angelia would have to teach her a lesson. To be honest, Victoria is still very afraid of this eldest sister. The most fundamental reason is that her 2 little sisters are not here. With her own strength, she is no match for Angelia. Therefore, Victoria was very sensible and only killed those middle and high-level people in the Church of Creation who were good at deceiving people. Get rid of these people, and Church of Creation will inevitably become a mess. The remaining creationists will also see the situation clearly. We will no longer believe in the God of creation fabricated out of thin air by the top leaders of the Creation Church. If nothing unexpected happens, after the collective death of the middle and high-level members of the Creation Church is exposed, more people will join the so-called Western religion. Believe in the Lord of Holy Light of their angelic clan. Only the Lord of Holy Light, the omnipotent and omniscient God, can protect them. Mission completed. You can go back to see my Lord. Victoria didn't pause for a moment. He immediately tore apart the void in front of him and teleported towards the other end of the blue star. Shortly after Victoria left, a group of people entered a certain combat command center in the beautiful country. There are high-ranking officials among them, as well as armed agents. However, as soon as they entered the hall, the scene in front of them scared these people so much that they stood still and did not dare to move. Because the combat command center was completely silent. All kinds of mechanical instruments are still running, but there is no living person inside. There were just hundreds of corpses in various poses. Everyone in the room is dead. My God, what exactly happened here? Who killed them? Someone kept shouting out in surprise. There was even a beautiful Huxiao woman who vomited on the spot. Hundreds of corpses appeared in front of her, which directly refreshed her cognitive perspective. She had never seen such a horrific scene. Soon, after checking the surveillance and the tasks of the combat command center, they deduced the cause of death of these people. It's the fallen angel with 12 wings. She must have killed one of our people. Only she has such terrifying strength. At this time, a senior executive from the beautiful country who was present received a phone call. After the phone call, his face was already pale. Something big happened. Secretary Smith and his wife, Director Grant, and General Virginia, they are also dead. Not only that, in our entire beautiful country, in all major states and regions, according to incomplete statistics, more than 8,000 people died inexplicably just now. These people are all elites in various fields. According to reliable sources, such strange deaths have occurred in many other countries. Hearing this, everyone else present also widened their eyes. A look of horror and disbelief. Although many people died every day on Blue Star, it was the first time that so many people died mysteriously at the same time, even affecting countries around the world. This was the first time that such a thing had happened. To them, this was a disaster. The deaths of those people are also related to the 12-winged fallen angel. Almost certain. She just came to our country, and her death happened immediately. There is no such coincidence in the world. Then why did she do this? Some news broke that these people who died all joined the Creation Church. This must be a fight between church factions. The existence of the Creation Church has angered the ruler of the heavenly kingdom in some ways. So he sent the fallen angel to come over to impose divine punishment. My God, isn't he afraid of causing outrage? Public outrage? In the hearts of more than 2 billion Westerners around the world, the ruler of the kingdom of heaven is their God. Sending divine punishment to sanction the Creation Church will only make those Westerners even crazier. After this incident, more people will join the Western religion, become a believer in him. Wait a moment. If this was a catastrophic incident targeting the Creation Church, then why did these people in the Combat Command Center die? Could it be that they are all creation believers? No, they are not creationists. The reason why they died is because they sent a team of sky condors to intercept the fallen angel when she came. Oh, then they really deserve to die. The deaths of these people also made me understand one thing. Don't try to provoke those angels, let alone go against the kingdom of heaven. That ruler is a madman with terrifying power. Clear. Not just a beautiful country. When the truth behind the mass death of the Church of Creation was exposed internationally, all countries listed the heaven kingdom as a taboo that should not be provoked, or even talked about easily. Just like the inexplicable and indescribable Cthulhu. While the beautiful country and the rest of the world were in chaos, Victoria, the instigator of the incident, had already returned to Lin Yu. Handed the soul demon Alex she captured to Lin Yu. Does the legendary demon really exist? And he also came to our Blue Star and became the god of creation of the Creation Church. In the box, the professionals brought by General Lee stared at the space ball in Lin Yu's hand, with horror and disbelief on their faces. They don't know how strong the demon is, but it is definitely stronger than the Blue Star professionals like them. If Lin Yu hadn't sent his 12-winged fallen angels to take action this time, they would have captured and sealed the demon. You don't need to think about it to know that it will definitely bring disaster to Blue Star. Thinking of this, they couldn't help but feel lucky that a strong person like Lin Yu was born in this world. At first, they regarded Lin Yu as a threat. This is human nature because the power Lin Yu controls is too powerful. But now, they are grateful to have Lin Yu's existence. This is a very contradictory feeling. Is this the devil? At the same time, Lin Yu also turned his attention to the black mist trapped in the sphere of space. There was a trace of doubt on his handsome face. The demon in his impression should be the kind covered with black scales, with a pair of exaggeratedly large bat wings, and a large number of bone spurs. The overall look is as ferocious as it is ferocious. Or the kind of coquettish one who looks extremely beautiful, sexy, and coquettish. As a result, the real demon turned out to be just a black mist. Except for a vaguely visible head, there is no body or limbs. Looking at the devil with this appearance, he even felt disappointed. Victoria saw what Lin Yu was thinking and quickly explained. Supreme Creator, this is just one of the demons of the Void Demon Clan. It belongs to the Soul Demon Clan. The body has always been in an invisible state and is mainly composed of soul power. In addition to the soul demons, There are also winged demons, shadow demons, blood demons, fire demons, succubus demons, moonlight demons, etc. among the void demons. These are the big ones among the demons. There are also more small ones. Branch. No matter what branch of demons they are, there are differences between mixed blood demons and pure blood demons. The pure-blooded demons are considered the nobles among the void demons. This type of demon is extremely talented, not weak in strength, and has the smallest number. They use the color of their eyes to distinguish whether their bloodline is pure or not. Purple is a pure-blooded devil. Hearing this, Lin Yu immediately looked at the soul demon's eyes, which were pure purple. In other words, this is a pure-blooded soul demon? Yes, my lord. Victoria nodded respectfully and said, no matter what research you want to do, using pure-blood demons is the best. Inside the sphere of space, soul demon Alex's body kept shaking. There was also a strong look of fear in the purple magic eyes. Human beings, who are called the Supreme Creator by the terrifying 12-winged fallen angel, actually want to study it? This is not good news. It would rather be knocked out. Nor do they want to be studied or tortured. In addition, it is also extremely curious about the origin of this human being who can actually obtain the allegiance of a 12-winged angel, and he is as respectful as a believer. Don't the angels believe in the Lord of Holy Light? At this moment, it saw Angelia standing next to Lin Yu, another 12-winged angel, and the whole body exudes a holy aura and a bright divine light. This is the angel in his impression. As for Victoria, in the heart of soul demon Alex, she is an alien among the angel clan. She has never seen an angel possessing the power of evil, and it can also swallow the power of the abyss. Victoria scares it more than the real angel, because it doesn't know when Victoria will swallow up the other half of the abyss power remaining in its body. By then, it will most likely be completely finished. Soul demon Alex looked at Angelia. In a daze, its eyes became dull. A memory picture that had been sealed in dust for tens of millions of years suddenly appeared in its mind. That is a photo-taking scene. In the picture, there is a figure of a great being that is very similar to the holy angel in front of it. It can even be said to be exactly the same. The only difference is that this one is a 12-winged angel. The great being in the picture is an 18-winged archangel who commands an army of angels as large as the ocean. Then, another picture appeared. What is shown in the picture is the great being holding an angel's sword burning with golden flames, killing one of their void demons, a demon ancestor who is comparable to the supreme god. The reason why it still remembers it is because this scene is too shocking. Make it unforgettable. Impossible. How could such a great being appear in such a small mortal world? And he's serving a human being. But the problem is, the 12-winged fallen angel also calls that human being the supreme creator. Soul demon Alex breathed in the cold air. If its guess is true, is this human being who is only at the demigod level the legendary Lord of Holy Light? How can this be? The Lord of Holy Light is a terrifying existence comparable to His Majesty the Demon Emperor. How is it so lucky to be able to see it? Lin Yu played with the space ball in his hand. It had to be said that he was indeed very interested in this pure-blooded soul demon. I'll have to study it carefully when I get back. It would be even better if we could learn from it the origin of the laws of the Void Demon Camp. Lin Yu looked up at Victoria and asked, "Have you ever cleaned up the Creation Church?" Victoria said respectfully, "Reporting to my lord, I have wiped out all the middle and high-level members of the Creation Church, as well as all the evil ones. I killed more than 30,000 people. Today's Creation Church is in disarray. I believe that soon, this church organization will fall apart and cease to exist." "Well done." Lin Yu nodded approvingly. Thank God. Victoria was naturally very excited to be praised by the Supreme Creator. Just now she learned that Angelia had gone shopping with the Creator and enjoyed the prosperity of this mortal world. She felt very depressed, but now she feels much more comfortable. It can be seen that Victoria is an archangel who is easily satisfied. Of course, the target must be Lin Yu. If it had been anyone else, it would have been pretty good if they hadn't been hacked to death by Victoria's sword. At this time, Angelia on the side suddenly said, "This soul demon's original power of the abyss has disappeared a lot." Victoria said, "The abyss where it disappeared was swallowed up by me." Angelia suddenly looked surprised. Lin Yu was also a little surprised and said, "Can you swallow the abyss of the devil?" Victoria said respectfully, "Yes, my lord. This is what I just discovered. It should be not just me, but all the fallen angels can swallow the abyss of the demons. Moreover, devouring the source of the abyss will be of great benefit to us fallen angels. Not only can we quickly improve our strength, but it can also help us break through the limitations of our status. If enough abyss origins are swallowed up by me, I believe my personality will be able to break through." While speaking, Victoria glanced at Angelia. There was a hint of pride in his eyes. However, Angelia seemed not to see it at all. She was immersed in the shocking discovery that fallen angels could consume the power of the abyss. Even she didn't know there was such a thing. However, this is normal. After all, she is not a fallen angel, nor does she fully understand angels after the fall. This is a good news, Lin Yu said with a smile. If war really comes in the future, I look forward to seeing your fallen angel camp become stronger with the help of the power of those void demons. The same as you. I look forward to seeing you promoted to a 14-winged angel, or even a 16-winged archangel. Praise the Lord, we will not let you down, Victoria said extremely excitedly. In fact, what she wants to say is that what she wants to break through is not the status of the 14-winged angel, but the status of the 18-winged archangel. Once successful, she can be promoted to the Holy Angel of Chaos. The angel clan has been developing for hundreds of millions of years. The overall scale has increased by an unknown number of times. However, there are still only 7 18-winged archangels. No angel has ever been able to advance to the level of 18 wings. As for the Holy Angel of Chaos, there is no such thing either. The personalities of these 7 18-winged archangels seemed to be sealed and could not be shaken. But it's different now. She saw hope for further progress. If she can successfully be promoted to the Holy Angel of Chaos, she can become a serf and sing, and it will be completely impossible for Angelia to bully her again. Based on this alone, she must work hard. No matter what, she wanted to experience the feeling of beating Angelia violently. At the same time, the fantasy pictures appeared in Victoria's mind, making her inner world extremely excited, and the heart of the fallen angel in her body was beating loudly. It's as if the wish will come true soon. However, what Victoria didn't know was that after Angelia's continuous communication with Lin Yu day and night during this period, her gains were greater and her hope of breakthrough was also higher. After all, what Secretarian received was the irrigation of the power of creation. It is much higher than the original power of the abyss she swallowed. Even if there is a breakthrough, there is a high probability that Secretarian will break through first. She wanted to stand up and suppress Angelia, but her hope could be said to be very slim. Lin Yu didn't know what Victoria was thinking. He casually handed the space ball that sealed Soul Demon Alex to Secretarian and said, "Angelia, take it and study it first." "As you command, my lord." Angelia took it respectfully. Then, with a dull expression on Soul Demon Alex's face, he put away the space ball. Angelia, the real name of that mighty 18-winged archangel. That is to say, is this human being in front of me really the legendary Lord of Holy Light? Your Majesty, the Demon Emperor. I was lucky enough to meet the Lord of Holy Light of the Angel Clan. Even if I was studied and tortured, it was worth it. The Void Demon Clan is a race that worships the strong and values strength. Even if you are facing enemies, as long as you are strong enough, you can still be respected by them. Let alone the Lord of Holy Light. The Lord of Holy Light, the ultimate boss of the Angel Clan, not only defeated their demon army, but also almost killed their demon emperor. The feeling of Demon Soul Alex seeing the Lord of Holy Light was like a mortal seeing an immortal god. That kind of boundless respect and fear made its demonic soul tremble.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.